So if we apply what I'm saying to what you're saying, it just confirms what we've been saying about this era and why there's not a best player. Because
Yes.
no one has won like significantly more than anybody else in this era.
But then,
There's no distance in the field. No one's created any distance in winning.
Right. Right.
it's interesting that you say that, because I was gonna say my counterpoint to Paul is gonna be, but what's the next thing you go to if people have like the same amount of chips, which is basically what you're saying. So that's why I always felt like the way I look at my GOAT is, or the best player even, is not to get too loyally here, but like it's almost like a balancing test with the championships being the heaviest of that balance. Yeah. The championship being the heaviest part of that balancing test, but then like the next thing I'd next go to is probably like stats and accolades and everything like that.
Yeah.
So I think it is valuable because even though right now we don't have one person who's far and away in the modern era who's far and away with the championships of all the current top players, my next thing would be to go to is like who is the best with like the stats and things like that and the accolades. So that's interesting that you said that. So I kind of see it more like a balancing test than anything. But obviously, chips is number one on that. Yeah, right. The chips are just number one on that list.
Right, and that's why people were so upset at Jokic getting that third MVP.
I wasn't.
because you're now putting him at a distance from the field that we don't know if he's like that. Because having 3 MVPs puts you in a whole new category of player.
I'll tell you what, though. If he wins this year, because that team is not that strong. So if he wins this year, he's not going to win this year. But if he does, that third MVP looking a little...
Like there's only a handful of people who's ever gotten a third MVP. Like you got to tell me he's of that ilk in terms of distance from his peers. Like I don't know if he's that much. Do we want to say how much better than Giannis or Embiid do we think Joker is?
I was just about to say, yeah.
Like even if you have him better, I don't have him better at all. But if you have him better, how much better do you have him?
Not much.
Not that. It can't be that much.
I haven't not much, but I have him better. But it's
hard. What about Embiid? What about that much better than Embiid?
And I haven't.
No, he said not much.
Because you asked about Giannis and Embiid.
Yeah,
but Giannis,
I'm better than Embiid.
But how much better?
Not too
like
much,
is it close?
That's what I'm
right.
Like they're close.
So if it's close for Joker to have 3, Giannis have 1 or 2.
1.
Giannis has like
I think
2.
he has 2. So for them all to be super close and for Joker to have 3, Giannis to have 2, and Embiid to have 1, that don't make sense.
I mean,
that don't make sense. They should all have 2. They should all have 2.
Circumstances. There's some other circumstances around that too, because Embiid would have 2 by now, but he got injured, and the next best player was Jokic. So there's extenuating circumstances there.
Shea Gilgeous-Alexander should have got that one.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying.
Fair enough. I don't know if I agree, but fair enough. But the thing with what you're all saying is like I appreciate it, but I feel like in the grand scheme of things, like when we look back on Jokic on history, I don't think, even if he doesn't win another championship, if he does not in fact win another championship, I don't think this third MVP puts him in that echelon. But I'll tell you why.
But then it's waste.
It's not. It's not. Either one of you, just give me no order, anything. Just give me top 5, 8, 10 players if you want. No order, just freestyle.
In the league right now?
Players, all time. We don't have to make an argument out of it. We don't have to make an argument. Just give me whatever your list is.
Kobe Bean, Michael Jordan, LeBron, Magic Johnson, Tim Duncan, Shaquille O'Neal. Is someone writing this down so we know how many we've said?
That's 6.
You said.
Do y'all agree with those 6?
Yeah, it's just general. I think most people would agree. Yeah.
Kareem. I'm not running to throw Larry in there.
Hey, wow.
Because he's a Celtic.
I'm not running. He might get in
you
there.
Being unbiased right now.
No, genuinely, objectively, he might get in there, but I feel like there are names I want to say before I put him in there. Like, I don't want to give him a spot before. Like, he might get in there, but like those 6 names, I believe I needed to say before I said Larry Bird.
Okay. I'm gonna give you those 6. I'm gonna give you those 6. Paul, give me the rest of the 4 because let's make it objective.
I mean, I agree with all of those, but I think you got to add in Larry.
What else would you put? Yeah.
Now you're talking about like Steph, KG,
like KG.
Interesting.
Top 10?
That's not what I was expecting, but
okay. No disrespect.
Oh, Carmelo, my fault. Carmelo. I'm adding Carmelo. Okay. No, I gotta add Carmelo. People sleep on Carmelo.
I didn't say Kareem. We didn't say Kareem yet, but we didn't say Kareem yet. You can put Carmelo in. Is Kareem in my list?
Yeah, you said Kareem.
Yeah, I think you said Kareem. You said Kareem.
All right.
Yeah, you said Kareem.
In either case, I didn't want to make it like that.
And you said Tim Duncan. So,
but my point. Yeah. I think Tim Duncan's in there. I think.
Of course he is. Of course he is.
Yeah, but my point is all that saying. How many of those guys won 3 MVPs? A couple of them, right?
2 of them.
No,
I'm lying. Right. I'm lying. Like 3 of it. So Michael did it. Magic did it. LeBron did it.
Right.
That's it.
So those guys. There's one.
Sorry,
person.
No, I lied. Kareem, Mike, LeBron, Larry, and Magic. There's some other people that have done it, but we didn't put them in our top 10.
Right. There's one person. There's about one person who I could think of who was never in anybody's top 10, who has won 3 MVPs. Not Jokic, at least. But I'm talking about like Moses Malone, who was a good player, and at the time, he was the best player in those seasons that he played. He's just not a top 10 guy because he never won more than 1 chip. And he's never in nobody's top 10. So my point was being that like Jokic is kind of like in that same boat right now. I don't think history is going to look back on this guy. We're going to see him as an out of place guy because people don't rate the MVPs like that. The MVP is kind of like a snapshot of the season. When we talk about who's greatest for all time, it is the GOAT. It is the championships that we usually talk about. So I'm not mad at him winning MVPs because it's literally a snapshot of what happened this season.
But I think that's the point, though. I think the argument they're making is that, like, for you to have 3 MVPs and not be in the top 10, there's a disconnect, and therefore that MVP, like, instead of giving you that 3rd MVP and making you sort of the runt of the group, there had to be someone else that deserved a recognition, right? Like, think about it this way. If you already had 2 MVPs, if the MVPs are just a recognition of excellence, right? If you've already been recognized twice for your excellence to the point where we just expect it, and you're not doing anything new, like you haven't raised your game, why give you another one unless we're trying to say that you are a top 10 player all time? I think that's what the old heads were saying. Like, if we're not going to be looking back on this guy as a top 10 all time, then why are we throwing him all these MVPs? Like, we can spread the recognition around.
Because at that point, you're taking away what the MVP actually is. Where at least
we done bid did that. We done bid did that.
No, wait, hold on.
We done bid did that.
Wait, hold on. Using your logic, Alan. If Jokic got 3 MVPs and they're all in the same era within 5 years, you are saying that man completely dominated that era.
Exactly.
No.
Yes, because if it's
a that's what it should mean. That's what
winning MVP alone is not domination.
No. But if you say it's a snapshot of the season,
the regular season, yes,
right, of the regular season, and he wins 3 of them, that
he
close
dominated
together,
the regular seasons,
yeah. Then you're saying even in the regular season he's dominating the league. Yes. I can't say he's dominating Embiid like that.
Correct.
I can't say he's dominating even Giannis like that. As bad of a season as the Bucks had last year, Giannis was still Giannis.
Okay, I see your point. I see your point, and I don't even necessarily totally disagree. But like, it is the MVP is we only have 1 MVP. It's not a domination award. It's I was better for this season award. Like he doesn't have to dominate them. It just turns out he was better in 3 out of the 5 marginally. Even if marginally,
I don't even think
he
that's
was
fully
better
true.
3 out
we
of
don't
the
have to
5
harp
seasons.
on it, but like you see how this is a much more informed conversation because we're actually talking about distinction.
Yes,
like we're talking about the distance from the field. We're not just going over the numbers.
Let me make another point though. It's almost like it's almost a different version of the same argument that we had about that we just had about all time versus like the averages. If you really want to see who dominated, best place to look is probably first team. We have to maybe value that a little bit more because that kind of gives more like the field. I see that
I always stand on that. Yeah, I always stand on first team.
Slots, though. There's 5 slots.
Yeah, but if I see the same,
they play the same position. They play the same position.
But that's why they took away the position now. But if I go in there and I see the same 5 people all the time, then I know one guy did not dominate. He just won an MVP. So I think that's a better way to like look at it and see who was really like top dog.
No, hold on, Paul. Let me get him. But to your point, right? If we go back to this era, we are gonna see 3 names in every first team. We're gonna see Giannis, Embiid, and Jokic in all the first teams, right? So if all those guys are in the first teams constantly, when you're the next thing you can do to distinguish between which one of them was better is the MVP. So for Jokic to get 3 of them, and Embiid only have 1 of them, that tells a narrative. Like kids in the future are gonna take that and they're gonna have a narrative about how this era went. That's not accurate. Especially if you then go to championships, right?
Especially
if Embiid gets one, like
especially since I think there were multiple people who you could have given the MVP to instead of Jokic.
Agreed.
It's kind of like you're painting a narrative now, but
on purpose.
Because I don't think Jokic earned that. I'm sorry.
Did he have that much better of a year than Shea? And if the answer is no, and if the answer is no and it's close, you gotta think about all time, right? You gotta think about, does this guy deserve to get this recognition 3 times? Like we gotta stop pretending like these awards are given out in isolation in a vacuum. Like we're only thinking about this season. It's not true. We know it's not true. We know it's not true.
Shea would have gotten it. I fully believe that Shea should have gotten that.
So if you're sitting down in a boardroom and you're thinking like, do I want to make this guy a 3-time MVP? You got to think about all these things.
I think they thought that they were going to win the chip too.
Because I guarantee you that's why LeBron never won Defensive Player of the Year.
You think so?
Because they didn't want to put him in that category, and I think rightfully so, because the man only decided to start playing defense 10 years into his career.
Nah, but hold on. But the years that people said he should have gotten the Defensive Player of the Year, he was locking up.
I know, but again, to my point, I'm staying consistent. Like we're not just going to look at stuff in isolation, bro. Giving you an MVP and DPOY in the same year puts you in a category of 2 other niggas. Like, and they were like,
he's in that category though. We can't lie.
He's not. No, he's not. Because those guys did it their entire career. They came in off rip playing defense, bro. I'm not hearing that, bro. I'm not hearing that at all. I'm not hearing it at all.
You said MVP and Defensive Player of the Year in the same year.
Yeah.
2 other players.
Yes.
Giannis did that, yeah.
All-time greatness is what you're talking about?
Yes, but I'm talking about the reason why those
the
2
MVP
guys
and the Defensive Player of the Year, right?
Yes.
So therefore, I gotta say that he is in that category with those other guys you're talking about, the other 2.
No, he's not. Not
all-time greatness.
No, but the category isn't just all-time greatness. Again, we're being too broad. I'm talking about the category of people that have MVPs and DPOYs in the same year. There's a specific reason that happened, right? There's a reason why those 2 guys were decided to give that. It's because those 2 guys were dominating on both ends of the floor. Now, yes, LeBron in those seasons that he was up for consideration was doing that. But then if we look at the grander context, like we're trying to do with Jokic, those guys did that their whole career, and it crescendoed in the year where they won both. You were dominant on both ends your whole career, and when you finally put it all together to be really the best at both, we gave you both, right? LeBron, that's not LeBron. That's not LeBron's arc. He was not building a resume his whole career towards being an MVP and a DPOY. He was not. he decided at the peak of his powers to start dedicating energy towards defense and became one of the best defenders in the league for those given years. But to put him in a category with two players who had career development on separate tracks to both of those awards, right? Like, that is no, because he was never on a pathway to win a DPOI ever.
And Marc Gasol was locking up, I must say.
Right.
That's a fact.
So that's my point, right? We're not gonna put you in a category with two players who, from when they were drafted, we had machinations that maybe not in the same year, but that these players could win both of these awards. From the day Michael Jordan and from the day Giannis was drafted, we said, "Ooh, that could be a DPOI player." And also, you know what? That could be an MVP player one day. No one thought LeBron was going to be a DPOI player when he got drafted. Not a single soul.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I can't disagree with that. I just think when people deserve awards, give it to them. I know narratives do play a part, but at the same time, I don't know. I just think, narrative aside, if somebody is the best, like, I think that's why Jokic got it, because they're trying to build a narrative.
Exactly. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I can't even say that because, I mean, you may not be wrong. There was a narrative. I think at one point there was definitely a narrative. I just don't think it worked out because the reason that we said before, he's not crazy. It didn't work out, but because he didn't win, but also because like he's not American, so it's not hitting the same. We talked about that before too. But also, when I'm looking at the numbers again, and I can't sit here and say Shai Gilgeous really deserved it over Jokic. Like, I would be mad if he did get it. Which number you want? Which numbers you want? You want regular
rebounds?
Rebounds.
How about first seed in the West? Didn't that used to mean something?
I was thinking that too, but
didn't being the best player.
They were tied. It was a 3-way tie for first seed. No?
It's statistically impossible to tie.
It's not.
First seed. Someone gets the seed though. Yeah, therefore someone gets the seed. Oklahoma got the seed. They were the one.
Okay. What's the stats? Because if the seedings are similar, but one person's stats are so much better than the others, I could see giving it to one person over the other.
All right. So I'm gonna just give you regular points, assists, rebounds. So Shai got 30, 6, and 5, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Jokic got 26, 8, and 12. Okay.
Right.
So if you want to get into like specific like shooting, I can give you some like specific shooting things.
What's the field goal percentage? Because I think Shai got a higher one.
I'm looking for a regular field goal percentage. I don't see that. I'm on an advanced site.
I would love to look at usage percentage.
Why?
Yeah, because usage percentage sees which one is like
carrying.
Yeah, but Jokic is carrying and Shai is carrying. Like, they're both carrying.
More than Shai?
Shai had some talent too.
Oh my God! Why is this narrative about the Thunder having all this?
Jokic is definitely carrying.
You know what I saw the other day? The way narratives work. So Jalen Williams, right? Which is a part of our next topic because the GMs voted him that most likely to have a breakout season in 2024, 2025. People say Jalen Williams is this huge superstar and is such a promising talent, and RJ Barrett is a black hole bum and a bust who, the Knicks were happy to get rid of. RJ Barrett is averaging way better numbers than Jalen Williams on better percentages. So why? So
I never said that about RJ.
I know, but would you not agree that that's the narrative? That like polar opposites of young player narratives is like the narrative RJ Barrett gets and the narrative Jalen Williams gets?
I don't know. I mean, as a Knicks fan, I don't know if that's a narrative because I keep trying to tell you, Knicks fans are split. When it comes to RJ and Julius, we are literally split. There's a civil war that is now done.
Y'all won. Y'all won.
I won. My side won.
Yes, I'm saying y'all won.
Yeah. But Jalen. Okay, here's the thing, right? Did Jalen Williams' numbers improve over the year though? Because maybe his second half of the year is why. Because
Jalen Williams averaged 19 on 54%, right? Solid.
Yeah.
RJ Barrett averaged 22 on 56, like
with higher usage, but
with higher usage, like.
No, that's why he got it though. That's why RJ probably got those
but
numbers.
higher usage also usually tends to bring your efficiency down. So when you have the ball more and you're free to shoot more and you shoot better percentage than someone who's playing a well-defined role,
I think that means that both of you are could be good.
I know, but that's why I'm saying the disparity in narrative is crazy. Like if you only get 10 shots, right, and you make 4 of them, and I get 20 shots, and I make 14 of them,
right?
That's not crazy. That's not crazy. Like you should definitely be making more of your shots than I am.
Just really quick. This I want to answer the questions y'all had about the field goal percentage.
Go ahead.
For last year, Jokic was 58%. Shea was 53.
53, so it's comparable.
Usage percentage though. Who had higher usage?
I'm looking at it right now.
Was similar too.
I highly doubt it, bro. I highly doubt that.
You forgot they got Chet. They had Josh Giddey.
All these guys are young players. Jokic
that
has
are good
veterans on his team
that are really good.
All right, y'all clearly did not watch Thunder basketball because if y'all think the ball was just flying around in all these young boys' hands and Shea wasn't directing that offense, you were out of your mind.
There were times when the ball was flying around the Thunder. Absolutely, Jalen Williams going ISO. Absolutely, Chet Holmgren is going ISO. Come on, man. You know that.
ISO? Chet Holmgren ISO?
Yeah, he didn't get post touches. Come on, man. Like Jokic only had Murray doing that. That's all. That's the only.
True. That's not true. Reggie Jackson controls the ball.
Okay, off the bench.
Michael Porter is allowed to work.
About the bench though. Michael Porter Jr., the catch and shoot 3-point shooter.
He is far from a catch and shoot 3-point shooter. I don't know what you're talking about. That was the whole point. Remember Dre's whole argument about Michael Porter Jr. being a key because he was going to be a mismatch hunter, and he absolutely was.
That man was a catch and shoot most of the time.
All right, so Jokic was 29.3.
Under 30.
You think so? I feel like high 20s is usually the normal.
Yeah, but I usually there's a third category of guy that usually I assume they're like in the 30s. But go ahead.
Good. And Shea was 32.7.
Exactly. That's
how much.
To my point. Exactly.
But no, how much was Jokic? 29.
29.7.
So 3. I told
that's
you.
That's a lot. No. See, don't do that. Don't do that.
But did I not say that?
Stay in perspective. When you're talking about that stat, usage, 0.1 differential is huge. It is not a counting number. It is a percentage point. Him being 3% more used in the game is statistically significant. We have to understand that.
But to me,
it's not a counting number. It's not one more point.
Say what you're saying.
It is percentage. It's percentage.
And I agree with you, but to me, that makes it even more impressive on Joker's hands. He's doing all this with the ball less in his hands. That's efficient. That makes him more efficient.
No, fair, but no. So my perspective is that efficiency in the face of lower usage should be assumed. If I have higher usage than you and higher efficiency than you, that's crazy. It should be one or the other. Usually lower usage equals more efficiency. So yes, Joker having more efficiency makes sense because he has lower usage. So what I'm saying is Shea having higher usage should excuse the differentials they have in efficiency. So basically I think that cancels, right? Like if we went to efficiency to make a distinction and we say Jokic has more, I say, well, what's the usage? If Shea has more, then cancel those two things out.
How do they calculate usage rate?
How much of the possessions are you used as the primary ball handler in the offense?
So you're telling, so how is 0.1% a big differential?
Because you don't understand how much time or how many possessions in a game that is.
How much is it?
I don't know. I haven't done the math. I'm just saying it. You can't
I don't think it's a big percentage, man. I'm
has
not gonna
to
hold
be.
you.
It
I don't think it's a
has
big
to be.
difference.
It has to be. It has to be because the
No.
percentage turns into number into minutes in the game or possessions in a game. If there are, we can simplify it to 100, right? If there are 100 possessions in a game, then yes, 1% equals 1 possession. But there are way more than 100 possessions in a game.
Let's look this up right now. How many possessions are in a basketball game?
They do it by per 100, I believe. Like
it's per 100 possessions.
I believe that's how they calculate it. They don't just do it by because it has to be equal number. They can't because it's different possessions in a basketball game. If you think about how many people
there's about on average 100 possessions per game. Okay. So you're talking about a 3 possession difference. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not a big difference, man.
Sorry, no, I had it. So I had it right. Here's the actual definition book of what usage rate is.
Okay.
It's an estimate of the percentage a team plays used by a player while he's on the floor.
Wait, say that again?
The percentage of team plays used by a player while he was on the floor.
What does usage rate mean?
Usage rate can be calculated with how a possession ends, field goal or a free throw attempt or a turnover. So essentially, I think it's how the percentage of time that a possession ends with you having done something.
Mm-hmm. Nah, but see, now I don't like that then because Jokic is setting people up. So if Jokic is setting people up,
but getting an assist is doing something. Getting an assist is doing something.
But it doesn't end with him though. It ends with the shot.
No, but it ends with you doing something.
This counts. This would count towards his use percent
because it's a team plays used by a player. So like if you use the play to get an assist, then that possession would go towards your usage rate.
Would it go to the shot? The person that shoots usage rate too?
It would go. It would go to both of yours. It would go to both of yours. Yeah.
Okay. But anyway, possession. There's on average 100 possessions per NBA game. So you're talking about a 3 possession difference.
Yeah, I think I agree, Paul.
It's not big.
It is about 3 possessions.
It is not big. We both know that they are high usage players. We know that. We know Jokic is a high usage. We know that.
Okay, but what I'm gonna do the distinction again, right?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Shea with his 30 is put in a category with certain people. Jokic not even cracking 30 tells me a lot. It tells me a lot.
Can't tell you a lot.
It tells me a lot.
I don't think
because using the video, the disparity between 32 and 29 is not that big. So therefore, it's not. It doesn't.
No, but I'm talking about on peers, right? So where is it? So all right, there are only 12 people that have cracked 30.
All time?
No, that last season.
There
are 12.
Okay.
Yeah. Last year, there's only 12 people that cracked 30 in terms of usage percentage. Right? That was Shea. Right? The number of people that are at 29 or between like 25 and 29 is like 45. So I'm saying, Jokic's usage percentage is in a category that is pretty broad in the NBA. Like his usage percentage is not distinct from a large majority of the league. But Shea at his 30 whatever is in the minority of the league in terms of usage percentage. Mind you, he was also third. He He had the third highest in the league.
Or you could say that the way that basketball is being played is that every team has a high usage player or two.
Of course it does, but what I'm
saying
again, the context distinction matters. If the majority of the league is doing basically what you're doing, but the other guy only 5% of the league is doing what he's doing, I don't care if the difference in the number between them is 0.23. This guy's doing something only 12 people in the league are doing. You're doing something that 30 people in the league are doing. 30, 45 people in the league are doing.
Yes, but when you put it in the context, all those people
that is the context.
No. That's missing. That's missing half the contest because if what you said 30 people has in the range of Jokic.
30 to 45 people are doing what you're doing, but this guy
30
only
to 40
12
people
are doing what you're doing.
No. It's not doing what he's doing. It's 30 to 40 people have the ball in their hands as much as you do. But out of all those 30, 40 people, you have the stats of the people in that 30 range echelon. That's the context that we're putting at it.
Okay, and Shea, only 12 people have the ball in their hands as much as he do, and he has the numbers he has.
How many of those guys are like the top 12, are the top players in the league? Because 30
they are the top players in the league.
Yeah, they have.
The top three is Luka, Giannis, and Shea.
Exactly. But if now you're telling me that this Jokic is in the category where his usage rate is like the 30, 40 people, but he's probably, how many other people have like the stats that Jokic has? That means something. That tells me that he's just more efficient with the ball.
No. Because I don't like the connection between usage rate and efficiency. Because in my mind, usage rate should be understood in terms of the ability of the offense of the team to generate offense without you, right? So which you benefit from, right? Because again, usage percentage, you get it when you benefit as well, right? Mm-hmm. So the likely is the higher usage percentage you have, it's more likely that you are contributing to the offense more than you're benefiting from it. That's how I would assume it, right? So if you have a lower usage percentage on a really good team, that means the team is able to generate offense without you. So if you have better numbers, okay, yeah, you're benefiting from a team that generates a lot of good offense. Shea has the third highest usage percentage in the league. That means his team is not really generating offense without him, and yet he's still putting up 30 points.
But when the difference is literally 3 possessions a game, then you could say the same about Jokic almost to the same degree. That's what I'm trying to say. He's average. He has a 30%.
No, but you're saying but look at what you're doing. You're stripping context by saying 3 possessions by using the counting number. I get it. No, I get it. You're saying it's only 3 possessions, and you're saying that because that number is a low number, 3, that's not statistically significant. But it is when the difference in the league is that number. That's the difference in the entire league.
The difference in the impact on the game is not that different because there's 3 possessions.
It has to be.
It's literally 3 possessions. Using your
I just lost the finals game on 3 possessions.
Come on, man. Stop it.
So what are we talking about? What are we talking about? No. What are we talking about? Because y'all acting like 3 possessions is not important in the basketball game. I just lost the whole finals game.
You didn't lose any 3 possessions though. You did not lose any 3 possessions though.
We did.
It's a run. That's a run.
If those 3 possessions go different, those 3 possessions go different, I'm sitting here one up.
18-point lead. 3 possessions.
As a coach, I would never tell my team you lost because of this 1 possession. I'm saying what happened earlier in the game as well. There's usually a leader.
That sounds good. It sounds good. At the end of the day,
at the end
of the day,
that's not 3 possessions.
At the end of the day, you make a free throw, we won the game, son. I'm not gonna lie to you. Son. If you made that free throw, we would have won the game.
Play better earlier on, and you won't even have to be in a position.
Don't care about all that. We're in the gym tomorrow, and you are shooting free throws for 3 hours.
That's fine. But we got